Is it recording? I think it's recording. Are you recording? Good morning, everybody. As always, I wanted to make a quick video. Today is October 6th, 2016. Today is my day 147, and today I want to talk about something that I call threshold, which is kind of odd. And this is a term that means to me, and if you know me, I don't think I'm vain. I don't think I'm, I think anyone who says that they don't care about their appearance is kind of full of shit and whatnot. And prior to my transition, I really didn't care how I looked. I didn't really take care of my body. I didn't go out of my way. I didn't abuse drugs or alcohol. I didn't use drugs. I certainly had my in college, my drunk nights, but as a social drinker and whatnot. So, to talk about appearance, I feel not hypocritical, but, it's like, who am I to talk about, fashion or appearance or and femininity for that matter. But I wanted to make this video because, prior to my transition and leading up to, I would watch YouTube videos when YouTube was out. Prior to YouTube, I would, do an internet search on, male to female transition, timeline, what happens at what time, how much time does it take. And also I had, told myself that, I would not look feminine, and I don't think I do, but that's up for, it's up here. It's what our brains say. And we are definitely our harshest critics, period. So, my voice was another issue that, again, I'm still kind of working through. And, when I get up in the morning, usually my first three sentences are, not in my female voice, but it's kind of in my older voice. But I don't really want to say female voice and male voice. I think it's a spectrum. And, the more that I use it, I think the more my muscle memory will be, and definitely this is more in my throat as opposed to trying to be higher. And again, as far as your volume and intonation and whatnot, that's all stuff to work on, but that's neither here nor there. So I want to talk about this concept of threshold. There's a point in your transition, my opinion, let me rephrase this. In my opinion, for what it's worth, there comes a point in a transgender transition, whichever way you're going, that you get to a point where you, like in my case, started off male, trying to go into female. There's going to be a point when, to the casual observer, I am more likely going to be seen as a female as opposed to a male. Now, again, in my wildest dreams, right? What you would used to, maybe in my 20s I would call passing. And I am under no delusion that I will ever be passable. Prove me wrong, life. But again, more often than not, there is a point in your transition, and because our bodies are different, just watching the clock, because our bodies are different, chemicals are different, we're all gonna, this process that happens, the code is in our DNA, and you could arguably say that, as human beings, we all start out female in the womb. But anyway, so the roadmap is there. It's in our DNA. It's in our genes. So really, all we're doing is we're just feeding. We're denying the testosterone instructions and pushing the estrogen instructions. Instructions are there. They're in our code. Blueprint. So like I said, it's just a matter of whichever you feed more, your estrogen is going to take over. And of course, if you're on like an androgen, like I am, spirulactone or whatnot, that's going to help out or whatnot. And I have not heard yet about my blood work. I was hoping to get on progesterone a little bit to help me out, but that's not what this video is about. It's that, again, like I said, there's this point, which I kind of like to think of them, threshold, that, you can do this experiment too. Just start to watch videos, the transition videos, and hopefully there's some idea of time. And I would highly recommend someone who's going to do a video that's like, my transition journey, and put some sort of time stamp on there just so people can see, this is the way I was at 1 month. This is the way I was at 2 months. This is the way I was at 3 months. And, when I would watch the videos or I'd look up on the websites, I'd be like, oh, okay. I can kind of see looking a little more feminine. Oh, there you go. You're looking better. You're looking better. And then, at some point you cross that threshold and things really begin to pop. And, it's a lot of that is depends on where the person's at, their body type, how young they are. We're always a little envious of people who maybe, you're like, oh, they're skinny, they're going to be able to wear dresses and whatnot that I can't. Again, we're all different in that we're the baseline that we start from. But, there are some trans women who, again, if you watch the videos, you're like, okay, after, 3 months, you're like, wow, what a difference. And then there are others who are not that way. And, again, I think I'm more in the latter category. I got a lot of work, a long road to hoe, as they say. But again, there's that point. And again, if you watch these videos, I started to take notes because I was trying to think about, a kind of incentive for me. Every day when I get up, I'm like, okay, this is one more day. I've made it one more day. I'm one more day closer. And, my thought is that, again, at some point I'm going to cross that threshold. Now, I may have already crossed it. I don't think so. There's really no way that I'm going to be able to know because I see myself every day. Again, this is something that, someone who, when you go to the grocery store and, you increase, the more people you're around, the more you increase your probability that someone is going to look at you, not know who you are, and their judgment. That, again, you get to a point where you don't care what they think about you, but again, I wonder, this is about me, I wonder, how do I look? How do I appear? And again, it doesn't mean that I'm vain, but like I said, in the videos that I've watched, on average, a good number, and I've watched quite a few recently, at some point I noticed between 5 months of hormones and 9 months of hormones is where that threshold, that's that initial, is that a man or a woman? And, where they're starting to look like a female. Like I said, it does not mean that, again, back to me, let me put me into it so I don't offend anybody. I'm under no misconception that I will ever appear as feminine as I want to, but there will come a time, if my situation is like anybody else's, where I will cross that threshold and I will begin to appear more and more feminine, more on the feminine side than the masculine, more as a woman than a man, and that's it. That's kind of my idea of the threshold. And there have been, in my travels lately, the more and more people that I meet, and I've met some post-ops And, there's a part of me that's kind of jealous in a way, or envious, or, I kind of refocus that into, again, my every day is another day closer. Every day is another day closer. Am I going to have surgery tomorrow? No. Am I going to have surgery next week? No. Am I going to have surgery next year? Probably not. But I am working towards that goal. And, I have to enjoy my life as it is right now, but it helps to have that carrot to say, okay, Robin, put up with this shit another day. You look ahead, you look back, you say, well, look at how far I've come. These are the things that, again, back to that idea of the threshold. Again, when you cross that point, and again, I'm under no delusion, I have not crossed that point yet. I pray I cross it when I'm ready. Again, clothes are going to fit you a little differently. There's just something about the person, and again, I apologize for being kind of superficial as far as how one looks. But again, you look at them and you look away, you look again, and you're like, okay, they're starting to look more and more feminine, and it's incentive for me because I want to get to that point, and there's some factors that come into it, I think, and again, based on watching the videos that I've watched, hair is a huge factor. I know, again, I've said before, I had an Air Force buzz haircut for a long time. And again, you watch the videos and you have the guys with the short hair and, whatever. And you're like, okay, well, usually, again, when they cross that threshold, you start to see either a female haircut or a female hairstyle or whatnot. Our bodies, again, you begin to see a little bit of hips, a little bit of breasts in the face, usually. Again, I'm not really a good example because I'm kind of fat, but, if they're skinny, they develop kind of cheeks, and I think this gets less. Hair is another thing. I have not reached that point yet. I still have my hair. Actually, I shave my arms with a hair trimmer like you'd shave a dog with. I'm a dog. I'm a mongrel, actually. I'm a mixed breed. But again, when they cross that threshold, that's when you begin to see in the outfits that people wear, they wear the sleeveless dresses and the shirts. And like I said, there's that threshold. And I find it can be a positive thing in that, that's what I'm going towards. But it can also be, I think, if again, guilty of obsessing over it to a point. Like I said, I've watched videos, but I wanted to take notes and say, okay, well, here I am. I'm 7 days away from 5 months. And at what point do I enter that zone, the zone of at some point between, 5 months and 9 months, there's a good chance that I'm going to cross that threshold. And, again, everybody's different. We all have different chemistry and everything. But anyway, I got about a minute left here. I don't want to go over, but, again, I found myself kind of getting depressed a little bit. And again, what are we going to do? We have to take it day by day. We don't, you know what I mean? So anyway, if you're curious where I'm at day, I think 147. I'm 7 days shy of 5 months being on hormones. I've had 5 laser treatments. I've not shaved for 3 days now. And the hairs that I have, the black hairs are very, very thin. Occasionally, I will get a really thick, old, coarse beard hair come in, and you can see that like a little worm under the surface, and you're like, oh, I can't wait for you to come up. I can't wait for the laser to zap your I was going to say a curse word. So anyway, that's it. Good luck to you, and keep the faith, keep going, and we will see you later, Gators. Bye. Good luck.